and me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, I don't know where to begin.
So, first introductions, right? Obviously, you know me. It is Wade Nobilio, and today I am joined by my guest, the the heavyweight food fight champion of the Golden Isles.
Oh, the Golden Isles.
The Golden Isles.
Soon to be the world.
Yes, soon to be of the world. Watch out for this guy, Alec Eaton. He is probably one of the most proficient Renaissance men I've ever met in my entire life.
Try to be.
He's been heavily ingrained into the EMS community in the Golden Isles for what now, the last 10 years?
10 years, and a lot of people get that mixed up. It's EMA.
Is it EMA?
EMA. It's a little unknown niche in public safety. People have no idea. I had no idea EMA existed until I actually got hired into the position. And I had no idea what it could be until I started working it.
Really?
Yeah, so emergency management and homeland security. So it's
emergency management and homeland security. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been educated today on proper vernacular for what you first responders like to be referred to as.
Oh, there's so many levels, and we like to spell everything to each other. EMA, EMS, PD, FD, FBI, GBI, like everything.
Letters,
HS,
man.
like,
letters.
There's like CISA, there's everything you can think of and things you don't even want to know about. That's just, we love acronyms.
Dude, I can't stand acronyms. So prior service military, right? 4 years in the Marine Corps, acronyms were everything. And it was stupid, confusing, man. And it got weird sometimes, right? So I was on a FIST at one point in time, right? I was on a FIST, and we used to go everywhere and do a bunch of stuff. It was Fire's Incidental Support Team. And any way it goes, man, like, we used to have a bunch of really inappropriate comments that were made towards,
oh, of course.
We're
fisting.
We're fisting over there, things of that nature, right? And then I was I was a radio operator too, so comm is what we were more affectionately referred to as. So I'm spreading my comm all over the world, kind of stuff. Or like the real inappropriate jokes that only service members and first responders can really,
like Vet TV type stuff.
Dude, Vet TV is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I could go into some seriously weird stories about that, but to continue my introduction of Alec, right? He's been with EMA now in the Golden Isles for the last 10 years. And, dude, he has had some of the most profound impact on all of our lives without any of us actually knowing about it. Because since...
Hurricane Matthew.
Yeah, Hurricane Matthew, he has been one of the front runners of all major hurricane relief and prevention, like damage prevention, things of that nature. He's been one of the pivotal figureheads. He actually has probably one of the most impressive wardrobes associated with this that you could ever possibly want. And I'm going to let Alec tell that story because he tells it great.
So back in the yesteryear of Hurricane Dorian, which I still have PTSD from because that was 2 weeks of every 6 hours, that storm was either going to completely devastate us or completely ignore us, and that could be a big deal. And we had a lot pending on what we were going to do. We had just come off of a year from Hurricane Irma, and with Irma, we shut down the community for a week. Got people out. They weren't happy about that. So now we have another major storm coming and everyone's scared, worried what we're going to do. And we're trying to balance information coming from the professionals to, what the community thinks and needs and so forth. And with all our resources, well, the day of the storm comes and, we did a partial evacuation to be safe, low-lying areas, all the, because we're right there on the coast. So any of the islands, barrier islands, and low-lying city areas, we did partial evacuation for. And then the day comes, battle day, and I'm getting put in front of several hundred agencies, several hundred departments, all working together, ready to figure out what impacts we're going to be facing and ready to seize the day. And so I kind of gave this pep talk in the very beginning. And I talk about the multiple hats that I have to wear. I have a weekend hat, I have a daily hat, I have a work hat. And I unveiled my new hat, which ended up being my Viking horned helmet hat. And I explained it. This is my battle hat. Like, we are going to, whatever comes our way, we are going to meet it head on, full force. We're not going to be intimidated by it. Whatever damages, we're going to be there. We're going to be ready. We know what we're doing. We have an expert team, and we're going into wage war against Hurricane Dorian.
Heck yeah.
Well, we got 0 impacts from Hurricane Dorian. In fact, I don't even think it was even a gusty day. Maybe some clouds, light sprinkle. And since that point on, I was required by law, mandate, to wear that hat for any disaster afterwards. Because my wonderful Shrek-like appearance and Viking helmet scared the storm away from us.
Yes.
And so it now became a tradition that I have that battle hat with me at any incident moving forward.
That is.
And it was a lot of fun because you get, like, you think of government agencies and, you know, different, you know, respectable type of officials. And you got me over here tatted up with a Viking hat saying, "Oh, we're going after you, Storm. Don't come to our neighborhood."
We're going at it. You can't run anywhere from me, Dorian. I'm coming to find you.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. See, that's the kind of stuff that you know, with a lot of the people that you meet on a day-to-day, you never really understand that about a lot of them. You know, I'm sure that if you follow my podcast, then you probably have become familiar with Alec, right? And that's just because we're plugged into some pretty similar networks right now, dude.
Yeah,
but
a lot of good people that you know. I've grown up with either through the fighting world or through the professional world.
Oh, for sure.
We have a way of kind of interacting and creating webs of communications and connections to people, and we ended up fighting each other.
Facts, man. And I will never, like, one of the biggest reasons I wanted to bring Alec on here today, guys, is because he is probably one of the most philanthropic souls I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, he is constantly trying to give back to the community, man, and trying to make this a better world. And anybody that knows me knows that that's my entire MO right now, is just trying to make everything better for everybody. And he has an organization that he's been working on for a while now, right now, with probably one of the best messages that you will ever hear in your entire life. And it is this organization for the t-shirts, these sweet tanks and tees that you see me and Alec wearing right now.
Oh yeah.
It is the Coastal Vibes Eating Together
Coastal
shirt.
Vibes.
The Coastal Vibes Eating Together shirt. And it is dope, man. So go hit up his store and buy one now, because number one, it's a sick tee with a dope design on it, and
Thank
you
you
would
very
look
much.
way better with it on than whatever you're wearing right now. Number two, and more importantly than that, the money that you donate to this man, and I'm going to say this again, the money that you donate to this man will go to something better. Now, I stay away from absolutes. I've only used one absolute on this podcast before, but I promise you and guarantee you without a shadow of a doubt that any confidence that you put in Alec is going to go towards something better, man. And I'm going to let him kind of briefly go over what he's got going on right now, so he can explain it better than I can. Obviously, it's his baby. So, Alec, if you want to kind of let my viewers know a little bit of what you got going on, man.
So, Eaton Together, the name graced to me to be my last name, Eaton. Got to have a play on name. But food is in my name, and I love food. I am a foodie through and through. And one thing that I've learned through my time in public safety, through my life in general, even when I had nothing, the most important thing is food, right? It's our fuel. It's how we're going to get through the day. It's we got to wake up. We got to figure out what we're going to eat, how we're going to get the energy to make our body move, to accomplish our goals throughout the day. And if you don't have that, it damages everything. Food insecurity is a huge deal that a lot of people don't focus on and don't really honestly think about. 1 in 7 people have to battle food insecurity, which means they either don't have the money to be able to get their next meal, they're on a program waiting to get their next meal, or they have to deal with some kind of way where they're not getting quality food throughout the day. And that's a big deal, especially in our community. And there's a few agencies out there doing it, but what we're trying to accomplish is to create a brick and mortar restaurant where we're consistently feeding people throughout the week, every single day, to make sure that you can eat with dignity and that confidence that no matter what, you're going to have a meal. It's a pay what you can restaurant. And what that means, and first and foremost, what it what it doesn't mean, it's not a soup kitchen. It's
Right.
not just a hand me out.
Right.
You know, there are over 60 different restaurants of this style across the nation. Some of the main ones that we're kind of modeling off of is a Place at the Table in Raleigh, North Carolina. Fantastic place. I got the privilege to eat there and meet the owner, and she blew me away because when I sat in there, I had no idea what I was sitting in. It was just a nice cafe, like Instagrammable is kind of the way to describe it.
For the gram.
Yeah, for the gram. Like, you're like, this is pretty swanky. This is nice. And you had no idea that this is a pay what you can restaurant, meaning the person next to you have no idea if they had to pay full price or if they asked for it for free. You know, and what you do is you go up to the counter, you select your price. You can either pay a suggested price, a full price, half price, no price. No questions asked, right? Because this is a nonprofit 501c3, all the money and proceeds go right back into the restaurant to be able to feed those that are in need. And this isn't just for the homeless. You know, we want to make sure that we're supplying our community with the foods and the means to take care of themselves. Newly single moms and dads, you know, life transitions. They might have lost their jobs. They don't know where the next meal is going to come from, or they're just unstable and they're just so overwhelmed. You know, kids on meal programs, college students, high school, elementary kids that only see food during the school hours. So weekends, vacations, they don't see any food at their homes. You know, elderly, the community that they go into assisted living or something like that, they might want to reconnect and have a place where people are thriving and welcoming and want to have a sense of community. Kids in culinary programs that are needing some volunteer hours or real world experience. This is going to be a place in which you have the ability to give back just by eating a meal there. You know, me and you can go out for lunch right now, and we're going to be paying for the next 3-4 people by paying full price.
Heck yeah.
Right. The way, you know, we have it broke down to what the meals cost each meal. So even if you pay over that overage or that tip or anything that you throw into, it's all part of a charity that's going to go back to feeding other people that come in. And again, no questions asked. So you have an opportunity to sit down with somebody, and you never know where your next best friendship, relationship, idea is going to come from. You know, like you and I were talking earlier, we're gonna create an annual food fight.
Yes, the food fight, the eating together food fight championship.
Oh, it's gonna be incredible.
It's gonna be dope, man.
Oh, we're gonna feed so many people and have such a good time. We're not gonna waste any food though. We're gonna use water balloons because we're also trying to combat. We're trying to combat food waste.
Facts.
So many organizations out there, big box stores, restaurants, you know, hotel resorts. They go through so much food and waste so much potential that could go back to the community. And we're going to be an avenue in which we can utilize that food coming in to be able to serve into the community that is desperately needing it. Because one of the things that I believe is we live in a time and age that nobody should go without, especially food.
Facts.
There's so much abundance out there that if we were able to redirect, put the focus on there and serve up something healthy, nutritious to get people going, we should. And so, you know, one of the things is this organization has been my kind of love letter to the passion that I have for helping people. You know, I was in public safety since 2013, and I've learned that I really love helping people one-to-one, getting involved with them. I've been through some of the worst calls and people's worst day of their lives. And one of the things I love the most is the interactions that I've had with people one-to-one, face-to-face, but also over food. You can't get anything done without having a good and full stomach.
Facts.
You don't want to make any bad decisions on an empty stomach, right?
That's it, man.
So why would you want to start your day without being able to eat? Why would you want to be there struggling? I mean, where am I going to eat today? What am I going to eat? I don't know what I have in my house. So I want to be able to create an avenue in which you know you're going to have a place, that the community is going to support you, that you're going to be able to walk in these doors and get a good cup of coffee, a good wholesome meal, and a very tasty cinnamon bun.
Oh, yes. The cinnamon buns. Listen, he's talked about it on the gram specifically, and it got me tantalized because I am a dirty, dirty whore for cinnamon buns. Okay.
Oh my God,
I will do filthy things for good pastry because
we're going to have the tastiest.
Oh my God. See, I'm a fat kid at heart, man. All right. I love food, pie, cake, cookies, all that stuff, man. That is literally like reasons I will never have abs is because I just don't want to give up most of that food anymore.
Listen,
right?
abs are overrated.
Facts.
Plain and simple.
Get you a fluffy guy. We do it better.
We keep everything warm. All right.
So one thing that I'm going to plug right now, man, is for any of you guys listening right now, and if anything that Alec just said like really sparks your inner I love the world, you know what I'm saying? Like if you got the warm fuzzies and you got a little motivated tickle deep down in your tum-tum from everything that this man just said, that I want you to understand that it is completely possible for you to go and help him, right? And I'm going to shout this out because I want to plug it, because he shouldn't have to ask for any kind of help. He should get it from the world, in my opinion, because this is beautiful, man. Like what he's trying to do, there's so many people in this community that don't have quality access to like good food, especially living in the South. Don't get me wrong, Southern cooking is good. And anybody that tries,
let me correct you right there. Southern cooking is the best.
Good. It's good. It's good. Go to Chicago and then we can talk.
We're going to have a difference of opinion right there. Because I will die on that hill. Southern cooking touches my soul like no other.
Listen, I love Southern food, but a good Chicago style deep dish will forever be
I don't knock you on that.
at the, but like that is the pit of my soul. Like what I love more than that and Italian beefs, bro. There's just something about an Italian beef, like a good dipped in its own grease with Mott's cheese on it and some good peppers, bro. Yes, you are talking about my fat kid paradise circa 2010 all day. So with that being said, you can buy one of these t-shirts and the proceeds from that are going to go to help Eating Together.
100% all goes towards Eating Together.
Also, he has a GoFundMe set up right now, and it has a $150,000 goal. Now, I haven't told him about this next part yet, right? But I am going to start my own GoFundMe for this organization, and I am going to start doing some shenanigans to try and get some hype going around the College of Coastal Georgia. So if you're any of my classmates and you're watching this video, then stand by, because I am about to make a complete fool of myself on a regular basis to try and, one, garner the attention that this organization deserves, and two, I'm going to be asking for my own donations, because he is currently asking for 75 people to donate $2,000 a piece.
Yes.
And that will be $150,000 if 75 people can do it. Now, that's half of what he needs. And the reason he's only asking for half, and this is the most amazing part, is he himself is going to be taking on the load of 75 other people by going out in this community, this country, the world, and trying to get another $150,000 raised by himself, so we can all see this dream come to light. Now, if I come up with $2,000, if I come up with $10,000, if I come up with whatever, it's all going to him. So I'm going to set up my own GoFundMe for that, because I really stand by this, and I think it's a great way we can start putting some change in this community from a dietary standpoint. Of course, like we said, Southern cooking is amazing, but at the same time, when you start talking about like good, healthy choices and stuff like that, now cinnamon buns don't fall in this archetype.
No,
right?
those are. We like to put that into the category of Sunday calories or God's calories or anything like that. They don't count. Okay,
they don't count.
That's just warmth for the soul.
Exactly.
That's what cinnamon rolls
It doesn't
do.
metabolize in your body; it metabolizes in your soul.
Yes. Deep in the soul.
So with that being said, man, and everybody knows that physical wellness is something that I'm huge on, and I'd really like to see like a revolution of not just charity, but like searching for like a better sense of personal excellence in your own physical health, you know, like taking the fact that you need good fuel for your body into consideration, so you can go out there and you can grind and you can hustle. And I know for a fact that this man is going to be putting some quality food out there for two reasons. Number one, this man is exceptionally large and strong. If you look at him, he is every bit of a grizzly bear that he could be.
I do try.
And he is powerful. You can just see it in his essence. If you want to see it in action, go hit up his gym in Brunswick Boxing.
Brunswick Boxing, MMA.
Boxing,
Yep.
MMA.
Downtown Gloucester Street, across from the library. Every Saturday, everyone goes in there and kicks my butt. Put on a body shield, go about 5-minute rounds with everyone, mixed with bag and mitt work with Joseph, the main trainer. I don't hit back on this one, though. So it's all fair game for you just to kick my ass the entire time.
Because, listen,
it's fantastic. I love it.
You can try, but that's just going to be hitting a giant piece of steel. So I'll tell you what, if you can go in and you can prove to me you made him wince one time, I will pay for your first meal at Eating Together.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Personally.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And gosh, what else was I going to say? So the second reason behind it. So we just started talking about martial arts and where you can find them and where you can train with them.
Yep.
Right. Another fun fact about him, and this is why I really say he's a Renaissance man, because
Well, before you get into that, the other thing, I kind of want to throw this out. You're talking about the healthy food, and it is important to me that you're eating good food for your body, the nourishment, the calories, everything. You need to replenish yourself with the right ingredients to have a healthy life. I've learned that. I grew up eating the wrong way. You know, I don't get this big overnight just from eating salads. But we actually on board recently, we got Chef Johnny Carino on board with us with Eating Together.
That's right.
And if you don't know who Johnny Carino is, just look up that name. This man has his own successful restaurant chain. I know it's very popular in Texas. He currently works in the Golden Isles, contracted with Cloister. He was a personal chef of mine for one of my training sessions when I was preparing for one of my fights. He cooked a lot of the meals for me that helped me shed the weight, feel better, recover faster. And he himself was a bodybuilder, and he takes health very seriously.
I'm saying.
But this man is fantastic. He makes amazing food, healthy ingredients. He's actually helping me develop the menu right now, and he's like making sure that I got the best ingredients, how to cook it. He's going to teach me, teach my staff. He's going to be a partner in this to help develop, because he believes in what we're doing as well. He sees the need. He knows the people behind the scenes that want to give back. You know, you start talking to people in Glenn County, there's a lot of people that are wanting to help support each other. They just want to have that avenue. And through that means of connection with him, through yourself, through several people, everyone that's watching this, we're going to be able to create that area in which we're going to have the healthy food. We're going to have the good environment, the healthy environment, where people get to reconnect too. You know, one of our big things, our slogan, we actually had the color change on there, but you can see it's eat, enrich, encourage. Really simple. Like, let's eat together. We're going to enrich our community. We're going to encourage each other to be better every day and help each other out.
That's awesome, man. See, and that's the kind of energy that this man is trying to bring to the world. And one little caveat that I want to put on that too is, if you are a culinary student, I want you to think about this. And I didn't say this before, and I should pinch myself or not, but one of the avenues that Alec is talking about, like you being able to work off your food too, if you so choose. You can work and you can buy a meal, or you can pay for somebody else's meal, right? Yep. So that's experience in the kitchen. I know for a fact we have an excellent culinary arts program at the local college. Yeah. It's amazing in the Camden campus. So for you guys that are looking to really try to connect into the world of culinary arts out there, I want you to think about this for a second. This man is having a nationally world-renowned chef. Would you say world-renowned chef?
World-renowned, absolutely.
World-renowned, absolutely. World-renowned chef that you are going to have access. It's going to be showing you how to prepare your food. Now, that's not something that you see every day in a small area like, you know, the Golden Isles. It's not. So you have access to a global juggernaut like that. And that's that in and of itself, that experience, the things that you could gain just from going over there and helping, man, that's worth every bit of any work you could put in anywhere else to make yourself better, man.
We want them to be able to get the real world experience. You get the volunteer hours that you might need to be able to graduate. You get the experience of being in a professional kitchen, a commercial kitchen, serving people, knowing what the environment is, working under another chef. And then eventually what we will also want to do is be able to allow them to create some of the menu items at a certain point too. So they get to have their own imprint on Eating Together. They get to own a little piece of it.
That's awesome.
You know, we're going to have ingredients coming in that might be from farmers market. You know, we also want to highlight, you know, local resources, local vegetables grown, the farmers market especially. A lot of their food that, you know, ends up having to go into the dumpster because they can't get it sold fast enough, or, you know, they have leftovers and stuff. We want to be able to take that, utilize that for like a special daily menu. And we want to give them the opportunity to create that.
Man, there's just so many levels that this entire idea resonates with me on, dude. It gets me fired up because I love seeing other people that are trying to do great good with the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We were talking about it earlier. It's not really the path that's most traveled. A lot of people nowadays, they'll focus on some form of negativity, right? And this is just a personal challenge I have to everybody that listens to this podcast or video web show, however you want to explain it at this point, because to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not even sure anymore. but
it's your happy space.
It's my happy place. This is my happy place where all my friends come and talk to me about things in life.
Nothing wrong with that.
But no, dude, it's just focus on something positive in life. I don't care if it's Eating Together, the Fangs Out show, podcast, whatever, or if you go donate some time to your local food soup kitchen, something like that, man. Go find something and dedicate your time to a greater cause. Because I have never felt more accomplished and happy than when I've actively reached out to the world and tried to put some of myself in it, you know?
Yeah.
And really like dedicate myself to, like I'm saying, that higher cause that elevates humanity, that elevates the world, makes it a happier place, a more loving place. It's seriously been one of the greatest revelations I've ever had in my entire life. And I invite everybody else to have that same revelation and join us. And this isn't coming from some moral pedestal, because God only knows I'm a horrible individual in my own respects. But at the same time, that doesn't matter.
It's called life experience.
Exactly.
You learn through trials and tribulations.
I'm not smart, I'm wise. And that is always what I will tell people. I have people tell me that I'm smart all the time, and I swear to you, I am not intelligent. I have just cultivated a vast array of wisdom from horrible life decisions.
Nothing. Hey, I've been there too. I've had my downs. I've lived out of a car. I've done things that, have helped me learn who I don't want to be.
Exactly.
So we've all had that experience, and I'm thankful for that, because it gives you the ground to say, oh, this really wasn't good for anybody around me. So let me not be that way. It allows you to see the bigger picture.
Yes.
You experience things in life you don't want to repeat or you don't want to be again. And one of the things you learn, especially as you were talking a second ago about find something to give back to, find something to help your community with. It feeds the soul when you're helping other people.
Agreed.
We work 9 to 5s, we get into complacency, we absorb so many negativity that's going on in the world that we forget to start looking inwards and feeding the soul. And one of the biggest things out there that you can look into is when you help your fellow human and you do something beyond yourself to make their life better, it improves and feeds your heart, your soul, and makes everything else around you better. So whatever you find yourself doing, volunteering at a school, reading books, any community service, finding what your niche is in that sense that makes you feel better to who you are. I encourage that. Go out there, find what makes you kind of wake up and say, oh, you know what? I'd rather spend some of my time. Let me cut out a little bit of my 9 to 5 to be able to go in and help this community over here, help this group of people over here.
Man, something that, as we're talking about this, I like to give references towards people that are actually recognized as like legitimate intellectuals, right? Because again, we're wise, but there are great minds out there that have come before us that I like to give respect to when I can. You know what I'm saying? And we're talking about like this global perspective, like this big perspective. And Miyamoto Musashi is he was the author of the 5 scrolls of the two-handed sword martial arts. He's a famous samurai. You can look him up online and find millions of people that have quoted him. You can go on YouTube right now and literally find some of the most extensive wisdom that you'll ever receive in your entire life from Miyamoto Musashi. But this phrase that keeps coming up in my head right now is think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world around you.
Yeah.
And anytime I start thinking about like the world at broad, that's the first thing that comes into mind, because it goes into what he's talking about right now. It's just like, when you're self-indulgent and when you start really like just doing things for yourself, like you're not doing great works at that point. Yeah, you can be doing great works on yourself, but that's just the stepping stone. That's step 1. Whenever you start talking about really becoming a better person, you can't have a selfish or personal well, of course you can have a personal perspective, but you can't have a selfish, and it can't stop at you. If your perspective stops at you, then you're the only person that's getting anything from it. And if I haven't learned anything in 29 years of life, it is that you will not get anything if you don't give something first.
Absolutely.
And that right there, man, like,
but make what you're giving of yourself worth it.
Facts.
One of those things is, and I'm recently learning this, if I'm giving myself to a job that isn't giving itself back to me, if I'm giving myself to something that doesn't give me that ROI that I need to better myself or the people around me, I need to stop giving my energy to that.
Mm-hmm. And that, dude, that's huge. That's a huge revelation that anyone can have, is when you start talking about energy allocation and like doing things that are really you, or doing things that are just like societal constructs, like working like a 9-to-5 normal stuff. There's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
If you're happy and you feel like that's your call, but if you feel something in the pit of your stomach when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, like you'll know when you're where you're supposed to be at. Like for me right now, that's doing stuff like this, right? Is like sharing these kind of experiences with people. This makes me happy, right? Beforehand, I was a welder. I was working in the Department of Corrections. I'm a prior service U.S. Marine. I have a vast array of life roles that I have put on, kind of like how you were talking about a bunch of different hats that you have to wear. Man, I've worn a bunch of different hats, and I'll tell you right now, there is nothing in the world that makes me feel more fulfilled in my work than when I get to sit down and talk to people like you, or spread some kind of positive message, man.
Mm-hmm. Those hats become cumbersome when they don't fit right.
Facts.
Then
you get like that weird like headache in the back of your head, like that tension headache.
Exactly.
It ain't worth it. Trust me.
Yeah, and it ends up going bad. And your body, the people around you, your soul will tell you if you're going in the wrong direction. You just got to start quieting your mouth so you can listen better. That's one of the things that I had to go through. I had to shut up myself for a little while. Man. And when you listen and you can actually hear where the road you're supposed to travel is, it becomes very loud. And it's awesome. It's amazing. I'm very fortunate because every step I've taken away from the security that I had, out of faith and understanding that there is a purpose to what I'm doing. There is support to what I'm doing. Everything, every week, every day almost, there's been something towards that ultimate goal of getting Eaten Together open, to be able to give back and help people. There's been new avenues that have been opening up that says, yes, come this way. Keep working. Keep doing the things that are necessary as you're doing them to get to your goal.
Right.
And I see those signs every day, and I'm thankful for them. And when you start pushing out that clutter of security and complacency and sedentary lifestyle, it really gets motivating, gets you up in the morning.
Right.
Sure, I get into this argument all the time with my girlfriend. I'm a very 100% when I wake up excited to get up and get going type person.
Right.
And and it's okay that people aren't that way. They have to get a little kickstart. But I do wake up and I'm all right. What do I got planned for today? I have no idea what's coming.
Right.
No idea, because the moment you have expectations is the moment you start getting set up for disappointments. Right? So every day for me is an adventure. I have no idea what's going to come, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to handle it. It could be a good opportunity. Could be a challenge that I have to overcome. Could be just, my entire day is meant to help one person, or it can help the community. It's very fortunate to be where I'm at right now, and to continue to move forward. One of the things we were talking about, I wanted to kind of bring it over to like how martial arts we were talking about.
For sure, man.
When you stay an island, you stay isolated, it doesn't benefit you, right? It only works for so long. So like in martial arts, jiu-jitsu, boxing, MMA, taekwondo, any martial arts that you take, even lifting, right? Lifting weights can even have this effect. If you stay an island, you are going to stunt yourself. I'm only as good as you are my partner.
Facts.
Like if I have a whole level of experience and level of competition, and I don't do my best to bring you up to that level, then I'm not good at all. And I'm going to lose every single time because I didn't build somebody up next to me that's looking to be my partner to help me out.
Right.
So, you go into that mindset. I want you to know everything that I can do. I want you to know how to beat me up. I want you to know how to push me, because I'm going to push you, and then we figure this out together, and we start improving ourselves. We create an environment around us of a kind of almost a familial environment.
Right.
You know, we lean on each other. We can push each other when we're telling ourselves in our head no, because it's easy to go negative.
Yes.
You know, left neutral, the mind goes negative.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have someone that can push you, that can say, like, I know you got more in you. I know you can do more. You can hit harder than that. You can do this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it just encourages that atmosphere.
Dude, it really does. See, and this is something that I've really found is super common in martial artists, which is why I'm such a huge proponent about people getting into some form of martial arts. At this point, I really don't care what it is, because I've found that if self-growth is like your goal, if you want to become a better person and you put your energy towards it, man, it's going to happen. And it might not happen in the way that you want it to, but it's going to happen. Two things that I really wanted to hit on with the whole martial arts background is, number one, like gratitude, right? So one thing that I love that you did, man, is you talk about how like thankful you are for being able to do the things that you do, man. Mm-hmm. And that's such a powerful thing, because for me, that's kind of just like some universal cue that like you're ready for whatever responsibility it is that's going to come next to you. And that's a huge thing whenever you're trying to become a better person, is you have to accept the fact that you are going to be taking on a greater level of responsibility. Yeah. And when you show that you're thankful for the ability to do that, then it just proves that you're ready for the next step. You know what I'm saying? And the second thing that I really wanted to hit on was how you were talking about like you're only as good as your partners and whatnot, right? That's such a big concept that you can take from martial arts and you can broaden to every perspective, man. It's like, so when I go to train, right, I train with some absolute savages, like some straight monsters on the mats, bro. And I'm super blessed to be able to say that I've shared mat space with them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I'm only here today because of the people that have pushed me.
Exactly. And that's something that I found is so common with martial artists and whatnot, dude. And I say that because it's not just a martial arts concept. If you are the biggest person in the room that you're in the wrong room, man.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You can like you can give back to these like to the people that are trying to grow up, because that's what I like to do, man. Is I like to think that I'm going to be able to shoot straight to the sky one day, and I'm going to pull everybody up that I can with me. If you're reaching for my hand right now and you're wanting to take that step, then bro, I will take your hand and I will hold on to you until my arms fall off, because I want to see people become better. Because if it wasn't for that mentality, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There were people that I have irritated and pestered and just like annoyed to tears, man, but they always tried to educate me. They always tried to show me the better way that I could be doing things. And it was only because they were better people and they were committed to making other people better that I've been able to become better. You know what I'm saying?
And you got to be open and receptive to it. You know, you got to accept people, and you have to allow that to come in and say, okay, this person has something to teach me. What is this lesson? I have, man, so many war stories of different fights and training camps and all that kind of stuff. I've been put down very few times, and one of my most favorite ways was from a buddy of mine, Seth, who owns a martial arts gym.
Seth Audi?
Yes.
Yeah. Seth.
Yeah. He came in. Now, he is a pit bull. He will not stop fighting.
Fact.
I've been to a lot of his fights, been his corner man, and I've been privileged to see him go through some serious battles. And I've been on the receiving end of his spinning back kick that put me down. and I walked right into it. Oh, it was glorious. It was so pretty. We were going at it. It was probably, I think it was one of our 5 a.m. sparring sessions. I couldn't tell you. We sparred so much. And we were just throwing hands, kind of MMA style, a little bit of kickboxing. And he was getting tired. And he just crisply, you heard it go thwap. Right into my ribs, and I was like, oh, and I went down for a second, yummy, and it took me a minute, but it was the most pleasing thing in the world in a weird, twisted way, because I was like, yes, like, you know, I enjoy it because it's like,
give me more.
Yeah, you find out, and it's like, oh, I have so much more to learn, so much, you know, to go. How can I avoid that? How can I counter that? How do I not receive that again in my life because that hurt? What do I need to do? And you know, it's incredible. And there's so many people along my journey that have come through and beating the tar out of me,
Man.
just relentlessly, and end up becoming my closest friends,
Oh, it's the weirdest thing in the world too. We were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
You will never be closer with anybody than the people that beat the tar out of you on a regular basis, man.
My truest best friends are the ones that punch me in the face.
And
Nobody knows me in a more personal level than the one that has truly just punched my face.
For sure, dude.
Even like we've gone through jiu-jitsu, we've done all that stuff, but there's just nothing like the physicality of someone that is right there with you, pushing you and going back and forth, and you're in battle with each other. It really bonds you.
Man, it's weird because I used to hear people talk about like, let me fight somebody and I can tell you everything that I need to know about
100% true. I
Dude,
believe that to the day I die.
Oh, for sure.
And that's one of the things where in this day and age, there's no, trial by combat or, camaraderie by combat. In the sports, you can still have that. And thankfully, that's still around.
For sure.
But man, you want to test someone's valor, someone's mettle, you got to go through war with them. And, on this side of life, as close as we can get is combative sports and martial arts and such.
Yeah,
to
man.
be able to find out who you really are.
For sure, dude, because I'll be honest with you. One of my first experiences with that is when I started becoming more educated in the savage science, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? And it's where I'd finally been around a gym long enough to really, really be able to kind of just like chill out and calm down whenever I'm doing my thing,
Yeah.
And I remember like thinking to myself like how spazzy this one dude I was sparring with was, like I was just sitting there and like I was just cool, I was slipping, doing my thing, whatever, and like this man was like he was throwing everything in the kitchen sink at me, and you could see it in the way, like I could feel it, and I could feel like that tension in his presence and stuff like that, and that was like the first time I'd ever become like aware of like people's personalities and how they change through martial arts. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It'll calm you down, and this is it gives you like a certain level of confidence that you can carry yourself with. And this is like whenever I start talking about personal development, right? I talk about it in like 3 different tiers, right? I think about it in the physical realm, right? Because you have to have like a good strong temple to be able to present to the world, because I talk about this and you'll appreciate this as an artist, right? You present the painting that is you to the world. You know what I'm saying? And you deserve to be a beautiful painting. So take your time and really make sure that the picture that people see is what you want them to see. You know what I'm saying? So whether it be like you want to be a David Goggins cut from stone god like we were talking about earlier, or if you want to be able to roll your shoulders back, pick your chin up, and walk with confidence, that picture, that physicality is where it starts, right? Being comfortable in your own skin. The second thing that I talk about is like the way that you interact with the community, right? And that this is why I say it's the second step, because to properly have the confidence to interact with the community and portray what it is that you want to portray, you have to come from a confident standpoint. And that's something that martial arts has really done for me.
Absolutely.
Giving me the confidence to like stand toe to toe without fear, kind of with anybody. It sounds total caveman, but it's the truth, bro. Like when you can like go out there and like you can walk with confidence knowing that like you are capable of defending yourself. It gives you a different kind of perspective and confidence whenever you're communicating with someone, you know? For sure.
Well, and that goes back to a lot of times, like in public safety and in fighting, like we have a phrase of like being at the big show. You've been to the big game.
Facts.
You've been tested. You've gone through really bad situations. You've either gotten your butt kicked, you've had a bad call, you've made it through it, you've helped somebody in a dire situation. And for me personally, taking that same type of view of the world, I feel confident. I've been there for people in this community in some of the worst days of their lives, and I know a lot of people that have worked side by side with myself that have seen the bad side of what human nature can be, what the system can do, what situations are, and we want to make something better for people. And being that people have seen us there, that we've been through public safety. People have seen me fight. Knowing that self, having that confidence and that respect of you're going to come through with it. Like I'm going to say, hey, this Thanksgiving, I want to try to feed 250 people. Well, I was able to feed this past one, fed over 300 people.
Heck yeah.
And we transitioned, we came through and we did food deliveries because, in this process, it's been a slow development because it's been myself. I've had my sister join in with my team. She actually moved here to be a part of this. I'm getting more and more people building up, but it's through that consistency. It's through being at that big show, showing to everybody you've been there. You have the valor to come through with the words that you say, the goals that you set, and you can accomplish that.
Right.
But I only got there because I've been through martial arts. I've been tested. I've been my butt kicked.
Facts.
I've been through public safety and been that person that people look at as a complete stranger and says, okay, you're that confident person that's here to help me. And it's one of those things that I want to continue to carry on at a more personal level. And through this organization, when people come in there, they know that they're giving back just by ordering food with us. Yes. They know that they're in an environment that's going to be comfortable because it's going to be surrounded by people that want them there, that's welcoming, that is like, we're here for you for whatever need or happenstance that you need, we can help fulfill.
For sure.
It's quality of life that I want to leave behind. I want people to be able to say, like, it's okay to be more positive. It's okay to want to create a life around helping people. Yeah. Create that environment, that atmosphere that you're accepted, you're welcome, you're going to get fed some delicious food.
Facts.
And that you're going to come out as a better person and you're going to be able to give back more and start that domino effect. And it's just through that consistent training, consistent working, consistent goal setting.
Let me really emphasize the ever-loving crap out of the consistency part of all of this, man, because a lot of people, when they start things, right, like they start talking about wanting to make changes and things like that. Everybody gets motivated, everybody gets motivated. They get that wild hair up their behind and they're just like, man, I'm going to go out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to take a fight. I'm going to do whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you get 2 weeks into it and it starts getting really tough,
hard.
Man.
You're like,
it gets tough. You're just like, why am I doing this, bro? What in the world is wrong with me? And then you stop. And I'm not saying you as like anyone in specific, but it's just like, I've seen people sit there and say, man, I'm going to do it, and then they don't do it, bro. And it's just like, I get it, it's tough, but it's not the motivation that's gonna bring you to game day. It's not the motivation that's gonna bring you to the finish line of a marathon. It's not motivation that's gonna bring you to a championship belt in the cage, man. It's discipline.
Yes.
It's being able to go out there consistently even when you hate what you're doing, because trust me, if you love something, you hate it just as much as you love it. Because it is one of the most infuriating things in the world, because it's not always going to work for you. You're going to have this great dream and vision and all of these things that you think are just going to work out to your better. And then it's going to get completely spat on, thrown down, whatever, man. You can't do anything about it. And that's just life. But you have to have like that moral and mental discipline to sit there and be like, but this is my goal.
Yes.
And there's nothing that's going to stop me from achieving my goal.
And you're going to face daily challenges. And none of this is easy. The risks you take, the time you sacrifice, not everything about this is like a joy and, rah, this is amazing. Like there are aspects you're like, oh, you got to learn new things. You constantly have to evolve. You have to keep, working towards that end goal. You're going to have shortcomings. You're going to not meet goals. Things are going to fall through, and you're going to have to be able to adapt. But through that discipline of saying, okay, this bad thing happened, but if I keep moving forward, I'll find an answer. Or, if I have to try again tomorrow, I'm going to try again tomorrow. Not every no is always going to be a no. Eventually you'll break through and you'll get that yes. When you start talking to people, okay, let me maybe not say it this way. Let me maybe understand and explain what we are this way so people get the idea, paint that picture better.
Yes.
Consistently learning and evolving is what's going to get you there. And, a lot of things. I mean, there's so much out there that you can listen into, so many mantras that you can tell yourself. I believe in signs, and whatever algorithm that is in our life today through our smartphones, through Facebook, and all that kind of stuff that listens to us all the time. I appreciate it right now because it's given me one of the best mantras that I've had for the past like week or two, and that's from Muhammad Ali, where he says, "If my mind can think it, my heart believes it, I can do it."
Facts.
Simple as that.
Yes.
Right? I'm going to be a champion. Okay, if my mind is thinking I'm going to be a champion and my heart believes I'm going to be a champion, then I'm going to be a champion. You know, if I know I'm going to get this restaurant open, then my mind thinks it, my heart believes it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to continue to push. I'm going to continue to grow my network. I want to continue to reach out to new people. I want to put myself out there and be vulnerable to say, hey, I just want to feed people. You want to come help support that? Because it'd be really cool if you did.
Dude.
Type of deal.
Let me quote one of the most well-known entrepreneurs / businessmen in the entire world, Elon Musk, right? So when Elon Musk first started his company, man, when Tesla first became a thing, you know, and like electric cars and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
There wasn't a market for that, bro. Nobody was sitting there begging to have an electric car. You know what I'm saying? But Elon Musk, he says this, man, he's just like, some things are just so great. They need to happen. They need to be a thing, man. And Elon Musk is making like an environmental change in the world. Dude, Alec Eaton is trying to make like a physical and spiritual revolution in the world right now, man, with Eaton together. And that's one thing that I think, you know, you sit there and you say like, this is, you know, you can do it, man. I'm telling you, this is one of those things that's just so beautiful that like it has to be a thing. You know what I'm saying? It has to be a thing. And dude, I sit here and I drop it all the time, but I'm going to keep doing it because it's worth it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's worth my energy to say it. It's worth your energy to invest in it. It's worth anybody's energy to invest in it, bro. Facts.
Absolutely. And again, it goes back to that quality of life. What legacy do you want to leave? Where do you want to spend your time? You know, one of the big things in public safety is you learn about life loss, you know, through service, through all that kind of stuff. You know, when you have friends that die early, when you have really bad calls with kids, when you have bad calls with elderly, when you see some of the bad, truly bad things that are out there that affects you, you're like, man, life is too short and it could be taken away at any moment. And I don't want to spend my time in a complacent mindset where I'm not doing anything of value. That if I were to be able to make it to old age, I can look back and say, man, I did so much that I wanted to, so many good times, so many memories, so many connections, you know, sharing, breaking bread with people over what stories I got to learn from them. That's how I want to spend my time. That's what I want to create while I have it. You know, you lose enough people, you're just like, this guy at work yelling at me about some dumb thing just isn't worth it.
Thanks, man. Dude, seriously.
You know, and for me, it's not so much about, you know, paper chasing or, you know, one way I've changed the value and the vision of money comes from Steve Irwin, the greatest crocodile hunter in the world.
Facts. I'll fight anybody about that.
You know, he said he loves money. He said, I don't care where it comes from because my mission on this planet is to get land, conservation land to save animals. So wherever that comes from, I'm going to take it and I'm going to use it directly to help save animals and save life.
Facts, man.
You know, I want to be able to reach out, connect, and I'm, you know, looking for that support, generating that money to be able to say, I want to feed people. I want to create a sense of community. I want to create a sense of pride in the place that we live that has given back a lot to me. I want to give back through that. And I want other people to have an avenue where they can give back. And so that's what I've chosen to pursue with the time that I have.
Dude, and having like that sense of like time allocation, that's such an underappreciated like trait to have is like good just time management skills, because like I'm in college right now, right? So I deal with like 18 and 19-year-olds all the time, and like what is the number one thing that they talk about? There's just not enough time in the day, man. There's not enough time to have like your social life. There's not enough time to study. There's not enough time to work. There's not enough time to do any of it, man. I'm going to tell you this right now. Napoleon Hill. Let me say this man's name one more time so all of you can go look this man up whenever we're done talking. Napoleon Hill in Outwitting the Devil talks about definiteness of purpose, having a direction and working towards that end and that end alone. If you focus on that, you will always have the time to do what you need to do.
And you have so many good books to pull from. I'm going to like ask you to write all these down so I can go back and read some of these
Listen,
things.
dude, I have, all right, in the last year of my life, so it was probably last January, right? I don't talk a lot about, oh, let me rephrase this. I actually do. I talk about basically every book that I read all the time because it has become such a world-opening tool for me to utilize, man, because there's so many smart people out there that people don't know about. And I know it sounds dumb, man, but it's so true. It is just like there's this world of great wisdom out there, and all you have to do is take 5 minutes and seek it, man. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, like, Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil was one of the books that is probably like, it's left such a strong impact on my life. And the funny thing is it was the second book I've ever like really read. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I've read, all right. So when I first started my journey, the first book that I ever read, like really read and cared to read, was called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne.
Okay.
Right.
I've heard of it.
The second book that I read was Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then that gave me direction to the third book that I ever read, which was The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles.
Okay.
Those 3 books right there, if you are even thinking of becoming an entrepreneur or trying to start a business or do anything, I would completely recommend that those be the 3 books that you read first, because it's going to teach you the power of yourself. It's going to teach you the power of your decisions. Mm-hmm. And then it's going to teach you that this is a world of abundance that we live in, bro. Yeah. It truly is. I was talking to you about it today, right? Yeah. Jeff Bezos has $40 billion. Mm-hmm. Do you think that he needs all $40 billion? Because the answer to that question is an astonishing no. He doesn't need all of that money, which means your boy needs $1 million, right? To start doing awesome stuff with. Absolutely. So with that being said, I always think of it like I was telling you about earlier, right? The first definition of entrepreneur and the way it was first referenced towards was taking money from one area and putting it into another, right? Mm-hmm. This world has so much gain, has so many assets that you can develop, and it has everything that you will ever need in it, man. It has more than anyone will ever need in it. And that is a fact, and I will argue anybody tooth and nail about that fact. Because if you think of all the people that have all of this excess, the only thing that they've done that you haven't done is work towards it, man. Yeah. You know, they've put in their time, they've put in their energy, they've been definite and direct in their purpose, which means they've had the ability to achieve these amazing things. They have found and tapped into this well. It sounds magical. I'll be honest with you, it really does sometimes. And sometimes it really does just work like magic. My perfect example is this podcast in its entirety. Our mutual friend, TJ Cheek, was the one that gave me this Rodecaster Pro, which is probably like an $800 or $900 piece of equipment that I told him
it is pretty nice. I can confirm that.
It's a dope mixer, bro. And it was given to me completely free. Why? Because my friend believed in my vision. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He saw what I was trying to do, and he was just like, yeah, man, go for it. I'm not using it right now. Whenever you're done with it, just give it back to me.
Yeah,
you know?
TJ's an amazing guy.
TJ Cheek, realtor, bro. If you are in the Golden Isles and you need any kind of anything with getting a loan for buying a home or buying a home, period, end all be all, that's your one-stop shop. And that's probably the most morally outstanding dude I've ever met in my entire life. So TJ, I didn't tell you I was going to plug you today. I just plugged you because you deserve it. You're a dope individual. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, gratitude goes a long way. You gotta appreciate. TJ's been a good guy for me as well. Through the fire service, he was actually my first realtor officially. Worked for me to try to find a house, and then my girlfriend Erin became my second realtor, and worked from there. But he's been a good friend. Helped supply many jobs. He's chased and pursued his dreams, and he's another great example of somebody that decided to take his time. And his attention is energy, energy allocation, and put it towards himself and his family. And he's doing a good job.
He's doing a great job. Nate, what time are we at, bro? 1 hour?
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah, bro. We can still do a little longer. What you think?
Absolutely.
You down for it, cuzzo?
Oh, of course.
Yes. I feel like for my first video interview that we need to do it up
first.
big. He is. I'm so
really
happy
special.
that he was my first. Look at that handsome bear just chilling over there.
I try to be gentle.
Ooh.
Lover-like.
Maybe what if I don't want gentle?
That's for a different conversation. Different podcast. I'm happily taken at the moment, so.
Yeah, man. So all of you ladies out here that thought I was bringing him on here for sex appeal so you can hit on him and whatnot.
Not going to happen.
Keep those comments to yourself because that man is spoken for.
Yes, happily.
That's good, man. Dude, love is one of those things that can really like change your life up in a weird way.
Oh, 100%. Listen, I am where I'm at today is through the support of the love of my life right now. She has been the backbone in a lot of what I'm doing. And when you find that right person, man or woman or whatever in your life that sees the same vision as you, sees the path and wants to walk that with you, hold on to that person and support that person with everything you can too. Because when the sun sets, when you're getting into bed, the person that's going to be next to you that you want to wake up with every day is going to be the one that motivates you.
Right.
And so having that motivation to say, I believe in myself. Not only do I believe in myself, the person next to me, willing to go through these trials with me, believes in me.
Yes.
Like honestly and truly. And when they come from a place of love, and when they talk to you and they see you and they take on your faults and they want to work things out and they want to communicate with you, man, it's a game changer.
Bro.
Truly, like, man, where I'm at today, the belief system, the people in my world has come in from finding that right person that supports me.
Man, that's such a beautiful thing. I love hearing about like love stories that just like work out for people like that, man, because we live in a day and age where that's not something that's like even really like it doesn't register for people. You know what I'm saying? Like especially something that I've noticed in the community is just that like sometimes people like stay together and are together just because they feel like they need to be together. You know what I'm saying? From like whatever social construct or pressure that they feel, man.
Yeah.
And for me, it's super depressing to see that because all you're seeing at that point is just like wasted potential. Like you could go out and find the love of your life. Everyone deserves to be loved and experience what he's talking about right now. You know what I'm saying?
And it takes work. I will stand here and tell you as much as happy as I am and thankful as I am, it takes a lot of work on my end, on her end. You got to choose to work through those problems. You got to choose to be able to see inwards to yourself because nobody's perfect. And let me tell you, like I have my faults. You know, there's a lot of things that I had to grow and heal from things that I grew up in, choices that I made, that I had to be a better person and choose to say, maybe the things that I'm doing is probably the problem right now. Maybe I am the issue. Maybe I should quiet down and maybe go in a different approach and learn a little bit better about myself. And then you grow together and then you have that level of respect. And again, through action, through making the effort and making the change, you find that deeper relationship.
Bro, yes.
One of the books, we were talking about your legacy of books that you have that you carry around with you, which, by the way, you got to have more space in your car. It can't be all books, okay? I respect mobile libraries. But do you know Brene Brown?
Yes, I do.
Okay. She is Dare to Lead is a fantastic book. We actually highlighted some of her books throughout public safety career in a leadership position. We were actually a lot of Brene Brown, the idea of what shame is, how to better yourself, look inwards, to understand the picture bigger than yourself, makes you a better person, makes you a better leader.
It does.
Seeing from different perspectives. And I was snapping my fingers right now because I was like, dang it, I was hoping to give you an author that you may not have heard of, and I was going to suggest go read her stuff.
Listen, cuz I could probably name off like a dozen different like leadership, motivational, self-development, business, entrepreneur type. Like
I believe it.
Like
I'm not going to challenge that one bit.
It's
You've owned that game hands down.
Oh man, I'm not even like trying to brag right now or anything like that.
I'm bragging for you.
It's
impressive.
Dude, it's been such a like I used to get made fun of at work, like when I was working in construction for Kirby still, man. I used to like just like sit around in my spare time and stuff like that when I wasn't doing anything at work, and I would just be on my Kindle app and I'd be like killing books.
Yeah.
Like people always say like read 10 pages a day and stuff like that.
Which I'm trying to do right now too. So
That's tough to begin with, but I'll tell you this right now. I'm up to about 50 or 60 pages a day that I can consistently do.
Nice.
That's not all active reading. So if you are looking to read, let me explain to you, there's two different types of reading, right? You have active reading and then you have pleasure reading, okay? Active reading is what you're trying to work on. Pleasure reading is what you're trying to reinforce within yourself.
I got you.
So for me at this point, right, I'm deeply into like marketing-esque books, like one of the 22 immutable laws of marketing is one of the books that I'm cracking in right now, right? That's like a study book. I like actively take notes on that book, right? Then another book is Bob Proctor's How to Change Your Paradigm.
Okay.
And that's not a book that I have to take notes on because it is along the lines of those soft skills, right?
Yeah.
And that's another huge distinction to make whenever you're reading is understand that some books will teach you hard skills and some books will teach you soft skills.
Okay.
Both are valuable, but only one is marketable.
Understandable.
It's an interesting thing to think about, man. But yeah, dude, I've gone so deep into this rabbit hole of personal development. It's truly my passion because perfect example, when I first started this podcast, man, like all I wanted to do was be able to find a podcast like this where I can find somebody that's like willing to like, you know, have like that personal vulnerability to like take you through like step by step with examples of like how to like really start cracking down on personal development.
Yeah.
Because one, it's tough to find that. You can go YouTube a bunch of different people and you'll find certain avenues that you can kind of travel down, but all they really do is plug books and authors and things like that. And that's cool. Like I said, I totally respect that. That's me to a T. But at the same time, it's like what practical application can you talk about in your own life and with your own experiences? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's one of the biggest things that I want to try to like bring to the table is like, not only am I trying to bring knowledge with me, but I'm trying to make sure that you're getting me, like you're getting the full experience that is Wade Nobilio, the trying to be as professional as possible while at the same time, I am an outcast. I am a totally self-admitted outcast, bro, because that's just the way I like to be, bro.
Nothing wrong with that. You got to be yourself.
Yeah, man. And it's dope. This has been fun for me, and this is something that I love to share with people, bro. That like I love sharing myself with people at this point because I've learned through my own personal vulnerabilities that other people are able to admit theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like me admitting my problems and things like that, like the struggles that I have with like mental health and things like that, like that I have had in the past. Like being able to admit that has like brought so many people that have needed help to my attention.
Well, I tell you, and one thing that we were talking about the positives of the different generations earlier.
Yes.
And one of the things that I'm excited to see and a complete supporter of is the acceptance and acknowledgement of mental health issues and saying this is a real issue. We need to figure this out. This isn't something that you can just keep masking and move on from.
Right.
Like it becomes debilitating. It needs its own form of exercise, own form of, like not just medication to just Band-Aid it, but there's serious physical damages that happen from the mental health.
Seriously.
That stunt people from communicating effectively, from doing work. They might not even realize they might have issues. That's why you're getting a lot of adults right now that are getting diagnosed with adult ADHD. Because we grew up from parents, like me included, that didn't go to the doctors for anything and didn't accept medical knowledge, didn't accept any kind of mental health issues, didn't acknowledge it, didn't want to see it, didn't want to be bothered by it,
right?
Didn't acknowledge its existence. And as adults now, we're now just starting to put the pieces together. It's like, that's why I'm this way and this way and this way. That's why I get hyper-focused here. This is why I have trouble communicating with big groups of people. Like, now we're starting to see a pattern. We're saying, like, let's talk about this. Let's put a highlight on that. And it's such a big thing to do, to sit there and say, yes, like, hey, I've gone to therapy. I've learned counseling. In public safety, you got to deal with a lot of things.
Facts.
You deal with some bad stuff in service. You deal with bad stuff. You got to be able to learn how to stow that away in your brain, how to process that, because your body doesn't really know how to on its own. And that's where you get that circling in your head constantly of problems and stress and eating away at you because you don't know how to process it. So you learn tools that will better aid you in processing that, saying, okay, this was messed up. Let me do X, Y, and Z. If that helps me, now I can move on from that. Now I can be a better person and be open.
Dude, I love that so much because it's just, it goes back to like what we were talking about earlier, is being able to recognize problems, but at the same time offering solutions for those problems, man.
Yeah.
Like you have to, like, acknowledgement is awesome. Like when you can sit there and say, okay, you know, this is toxic in me and I need to fix this.
Yeah.
But when you can take that step forward and like sit there and be like, all right, now what do I need to do to fix that problem? That's when real healing starts.
So into that, I'll actually give you, there's a thing called CISM, Critical Incident Stress Management through Public Safety.
Okay.
And you get taught some coping mechanisms for public safety. And there's so many different things out there. One of the things I always like to do, and I'm going to give you a solution that people out there, that if you're suffering from, like, you can't sleep, you can't get stuff off your mind, you've just gone through something, you don't know how to deal with it, a little tool that we like to tell people to try to utilize this process. So at night when you try to go to sleep, your brain automatically has a filing system. Right. Your day in and day out stuff that you don't even think about you do. There's a folder in your brain. Okay, I got to brush my teeth. That goes in a folder. That's away, processed. You know, I put my clothes on, went to work. That's in a folder. Something traumatic happens to you, or you deal with an unknown stress you weren't prepared for. You don't have a folder for that, so it just sits there. So what you do, and I want everyone to try it out. If you go through this, you're gonna do one of two things with this. You're gonna, right before you go to bed, you're going to write it out. Write down every thought you're having, that situation, anything associated with it, you're going to write it on paper. Now what you're doing in that, you're taking action. You're putting those thoughts that are in your head, you're physically putting them on paper. Now they're visibly in the real world right there. Now you can do one of two things. You're going to either A, file it away like a journal, right? We're taught journals, or we get made fun of when we were kids for having a diary or anything like that. Yeah. Turns out it's actually a healthy thing.
It really is.
You're going to have a journal to be able to go back and read into what your memories were. Or the second thing, which I like to do, is you're going to take that piece of paper, you're going to crumble it up, and you're going to throw it away. Man. You've now taken control of the thoughts that were controlling you, physically crumbled that thing up and disposed of it. It's no longer going to affect you. It's no longer going to be surrounded in your head. And so you take that action and you use that to help process things, help get that off your mind.
Yeah, man.
Help get you to process.
Dude, I love doing stuff like that so much because there's so much power in when you bring what is in your mind into the physical world. You know what I'm saying? Like writing stuff down and all that good jazz. Like that total, like, super vulnerability moment here, right? When I was first going through my divorce, that was probably like when I first started to really recognize like my mental health issues. You know what I'm saying? When I because beforehand I would just always like default at anger. You know what I'm saying? That was always like what I just went to. Anytime I was hurt, feeling pain or upset, whatever, it was just angry, and that's how I attacked everything, right? So like I started like writing things down, and I just started thinking about like how negative I was being with everything, right? Yeah. With all of the people that I had in my life that were trying to like help me and develop me and grow me. I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I'm spitting in all their faces right now by constantly just focusing on all this negative junk. You know what I'm saying? So it really helped me like come to a point where I could start to develop myself, kind of like with what you're talking about, you know, where you can start changing your paradigm. Like the book I'm reading right now, Bob Proctor, he talks about changing your process.
Simple plug. Little plug.
Always plug my books because some of you are going to read them, hopefully, and get something from them.
That's right.
That's my greatest hope whenever I do it, man. But honestly, dude, like what you're talking about right now legitimately was one of the key things that changed my life, because it made me come to the realization that I was an angry person. And there's a lot that goes into that.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even like, I say it started at when I was divorced. It has almost anything that I had as a problem in my marriage was a problem that I carried over from the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't anything new. Like we talk about like I do at least, I talk about the universe like bringing energy together and stuff like that, man. And it really does. It, like when you start noticing patterns in your life, patterns of people especially.
Oh yeah.
When you notice patterns of people in your life, understand that if you keep getting these people in your life, then it's because of something that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's a tough one for people to understand, but it was something that dawned upon me when a good friend of mine, Jimmy Barnett, he does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at Tech Center in Eastman, Georgia. So if you train in Eastman and you want a great place to go to, Jimmy, my homie, Tech Talk, check it out.
Hey, Jimmy.
Do you know Jimmy?
I don't think I do.
Oh, fair enough.
I might if I do. How you doing? If I don't, nice to meet you.
No, man, but you know, he says that you're blessed with people when it comes to your life, man. Yeah. And I firmly believe that now because since I've tried to become a better person, I've been blessed with so many people, bro. Like you and TJ and Kara. There's millions of people that I could thank right now. Yeah. That well, not millions, but a bunch of people that I could thank right now for this. And that's it, man. Like that's, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm trying to go anymore.
It's just about connecting. We're all finding each other and getting a group of like-minded people together to support the community that we're trying to develop and build, to say, listen, we're meant to be a social group. We are a social species that thrives on supporting each other, finding ways to get through our life experience together. Yes. So why not do that in the most supportive, positive way, and whatever comes our way as far as battles or stressors or anything like that, being able to be open and receptive to say like, hey, I might need some help, and you can lean on that person. Yes. Or you could be that person that they need to lean on. And so I get where you're going with everything, and I like it.
For sure, man. All right, well, with this being said, I've officially hit my point of diminishing returns when it comes to conversation, man, because I am super stimulated right now. It's been awesome because me and him have been talking for probably like 2.5, 3 hours beforehand, and this has been the flow of conversation the entire time.
Yes, sir.
I have so much that I have on my mind, man, and I just wanted to throw a couple final plugs in here, man, and that's number one, Eating Together. Check it out, please, and get involved with the message. Get involved with the organization. If you don't do anything else that I ask you to do, please do that, because it'll help this community out so much. It really will in so many different ways. I am going to leave a link to Alex's Instagram page. I'm going to be leaving a link to his GoFundMe page.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to be leaving links to my GoFundMe page that I'm going to individually set up for it. So if you want to donate to me over him so I can throw money at him, because that's really going to be my goal through all this, so I can just throw money in his face.
And all those proceeds will go to feeding the community and bringing the most delicious cinnamon rolls in existence into this world.
Do it for the cinnamon rolls. That's all you need to know. Oh, yeah. 2 more plugs. Number 1, my homie Nate. My Nate dog. Listen, he is the low-key goat of this podcast, video show, whatever it is.
Without him, this wouldn't be possible today.
Facts, man. We are at his home right now, so if you dig this scenery, thank Nate, because we're on his porch right now.
He charges hourly.
He does, which is why another reason we're ending the show, because I am officially broke thanks to this guy. No, but seriously, he does all my graphics. He does a lot of my video design, stuff like that. I'm going to leave another plug for him to his Instagram page, to any other social media accounts that he will allow me to drop to you. I'm going to. Please get a hold of him if you have any marketing thing that you need done right now. This dude is seriously smart, motivated, and ready to help you out. And then the last plug that I wanted to throw out there is, as always, my homie Nick Benson. He is making some serious gains in the supplement world right now, dude. I'm telling you, he has a great product that I stand behind 110%. Again, I do it in my videos, but I'm going to leave a link to his store online. Go check him out. I'm going to let all of his products speak for themselves. And dude, with that being said, Alec, do you have anything that you want to leave the people with?
I just appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to you, to be able to get the message out of what we're trying to do and helping me expand my network, to reach out to the community to try to feed people. Food insecurity is a a passionate battle that I am walking into to try to combat. And with your help and your support coming forward and giving the opportunity, the platform to talk to everyone, it's going to help me and my ability to help me help you.
My guy.
But I appreciate it, and I look forward to being able to have a meal with everybody and just go out there and do your best to eat, enrich, and encourage.
Facts, man. You heard it from the big man himself, the heavyweight food fight champion, Alec Battle Bear. The dude, the man, the myth, the legend, all of it. I love him to death. I'm glad that we could share this experience with you. So as always, I'm going to leave you with my go-to. Live life and learn your lessons. Be dope and earn your blessings.
I like that.